Hello, listeners. I'm showing here the tool for teachers who teach languages through English or who teach English as a second language, for example, to immigrants to teach English. So what we have here a very easy exercise of basic English, which is present simple tense, and these are questions, and we can use these questions. One thing to explain the grammar, and if it is the other language, also to do that grammar present tense in the other language. If you teach that through English, okay? Because, for example, I learned a few languages through English. It's easier for me. Or also, as you see here, this is a picture format. And yesterday I was teaching students. They were very interested. My ESL students were very interested to learn how to work in Paint. And so they were doing this in Paint. Inserting, filling the gaps here. They were doing it in Paint, and so I was teaching them Paint, how to work in Paint. This is when your class is connected with computers, is hybrid or computer class. Yeah. So mainly this tool I would use grammar, but I just noticed that it is a very interesting tool to develop writing skills. Writing, as we know, is a special skill which we have to develop. If we don't develop writing, we are not going to have good writing skills. So this exercise can be used as a free association thought for student. Okay, for example, where do they live, and so who they. So you show them a few, or you go with them through all the questions and show them the possibility of the creative thought here. Yes, where do they live, who they. Well, every person has different situation, different family, acquaintances, friends, so on and so forth. They may live in different countries. Yes. So they can be anybody, and the person can speak about anything. So actually, each question here can be developed in some kind of paragraph. So I found this very interesting. Few things, few possibilities here. We teachers can use in our classrooms. Okay, I will just go through these present simple questions, and also we can teach, for example, grammar-wise. We can teach here question words and auxiliaries and whatnot, and then we can turn it into past tense, into future. It's just endless. There are endless possibilities here if you just look on your screen and look at this exercise. Endless possibilities for a teacher to you can develop the whole class. You have 2 hours, 3 hours class, and you can develop based just on this. Then you can discuss regular verbs when past tense, and tons of things. Okay, so this is just a convenient tool for a person who, for example, has only one computer, or you can show that screen to students, or you cannot show that screen. You can use it and put something on the board for them. So this is just a convenient tool for us teachers and for students who study English to review these basics. Basics are always have to be reviewed. In all the languages which I have studied, I listen to different things, like, for example, lecture, like basic grammar or intermediate grammar, or I just listen to a person speaking about opera, like, for example, Italian language. And I know, when listening, I know what I understand. I know the extent of my vocabulary, grammar, different things, so we never know. Language is a very interesting, very flexible thing. And though obviously I love languages, and so I'm interested in words and vocabulary, in literature, in everything. So I just wanted to share this. Okay, and I will just go through these simple, present simple questions. We call them, by the way, special questions, most of them here, and some of them do, does. They are general questions, we call them. And I will give just answers for them. But as I said, you could develop anything, short paragraphs out of every question here. So this is just a tool for teachers and for students just to review. Okay, let's start. We have two auxiliaries here, do, does. Well, before that, I will tell them also, like, for example, if I have Spanish speakers, I will tell them that in Spanish we have hacer, we just have one verb to do, but in English we have two of them, do and make, and I will make like almost like mini lecture out of that, right? Expressions with do, expressions with make, and irregular. Yeah, so here I would show them that it is irregular. I will tell them about the table of irregular verbs, and do, did, done, and things like that, okay? And then this is present simple here, and do, does, auxiliaries, and the number one is where do they live? And they live in the USA, or they live in Paris, or they live in your local city, wherever you are, in Los Angeles, in Moscow. Number two, when does your daughter do her homework? And then, for example, if it is creative writing, the person can say, I don't have children, I'm not married, and so on and so forth. And people who have children, daughters, and they say, my daughter is adult, for example, she's 22, she's, she just graduated, or whatever is situation. So it definitely can be developed. And people who do not have children, they will say different things. I do not have children, so I can say tons of things on that topic, why and what, and philosophy and perceptions and everything, okay? So tons of things. Remember, as Sigmund Freud had these sofa exercises, free association. So this is something like that. However, this is just excellent tool for teaching like many things. Yeah. So to answer that question, when does your daughter do her homework? And we say she does her homework every day. And we can also apply here frequency and things like that. Number three, what kind of books do you read? And this is like such a rich topic. What kind of books do you read? And here you can go into like your preferences in reading and why and what. And it's hard for me. It's a very interesting question. I used to have a few favorite writers, and I do still love them, but I am discovering different things about American literature, modern American literature, because I grab everything what comes, across, what I come across, and I grab everything, I read everything, and so I have my impressions and my opinions about things. And this is a very interesting topic. Sometimes when we teach low literacy education people, students, and they have not read much, so you, a teacher, an instructor, you have to urge them, you have to convince them to go to this free public library and do reading in their language, in English language, everything. So reading has to be a habit which they have to instill in their families, if they have children, for example, or relatives. Yes, what kind of books do you read? I read different kind of books, let's say. Number four, why does he call you every day? Well, because maybe he loves me. So we can answer whatever we want here, okay? The next one, number five, what languages do they speak? What languages do they speak? Again, who and what and where. We can say, for example, my students now in my current class, they speak Chinese, Mandarin, they speak Arabic and Spanish, 3 languages. Number 6, where does your husband work? Well, about husbands, I could say, my 2 marriages here in USA I had, and also very, very wide topic of conversation, husbands, wives. So your student could say, I'm married, I'm not married, and my husband works, as a worker, or he used to work in the field, or he's an engineer. Anything can be developed a lot. And by the way, husband is a man, occupation, profession here, family relationships, and so on and so forth. So tons of creative ideas can be developed out of here. Number 7, do you visit your friends every week? Friends is such an excellent topic. In Russian culture, we have, special attention to friendship. And in all cultures, of course, they say men's friendship, women's friendship between women. And so this is a very rich topic. Friends, I used to think, not used to have, but I used to think that I had many friends. Then I was thinking different ways. And as we get older, we get more selective naturally in different things, including friends. But, you want to work and you want to keep friendly relationships. And so this is tons of conversations can be based on this just topic. Number 7, do you visit your friends every week? No, I don't visit them every week. I visit my friends once in a while. They live far. Number 8, does he go to Stanley's restaurant? And it is restaurant. I just was listening with my students, and native speaker American, she was pronouncing very clearly restaurant with T. And I told them that this is probably French word, and the way they pronounce it in different cultures, you can recognize it. For example, in Russian, restaurant, and ristorante, probably in Italian, restaurante in Espanol, in different languages, yeah. So I just noticed she pronounced restaurant with T in the end. Does he go to Stanley's restaurant? And yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. We can explain short answers, and then we can develop them in restaurant. Topic of restaurants also can be connected with food, with preferences, everything. Rich topic. Number 9, when do you go to the supermarket? And when you discuss shopping with your students, and you say, they will say, I go to the supermarket on Saturdays, or once a week, or twice a week, and things like that. Also can be developed paragraph, if it is a writing class. Number 10, do your children wash their dishes? And this is a very interesting topic also. Children and relationship, between parents and children. In different countries, these relationships are very different. And we people are in different ages, and in different ages and cultures and perceptions are very different how you treat your children. And in America, it's a certain way. And so this is very interesting, chores and, or errands which children are supposed to do, or they don't want to, or they want different, Broken families. This is a very interesting topic. Can be also developed in quite a few, topics of conversation or paragraphs, written paragraphs. Number 11, what kind of music does she listen to? Okay. Who is she? She can be anybody, so we can start with she and say sister, my friend. Who is your friend? My friend is Anna. And what kind of music? I do not know. I know her preferences. So anything. Then music. Music is a huge topic. I love music, and I love my preferences, not to all of it, and some for me is boring, some kind of music which is very entertaining and favorite for other people, for me would be like very boring. But I ideally love like various kinds, different kinds of music. Yes, so very rich topic here. What kind of music does she listen to? And students will tell about their preferences and music, describe the music, and also very interesting topic. Number 12, what does he sell? And you would say, we can say, for example, he sells cars. He's a car salesman. He works in auto dealership or something like that. Or he sells computers, and also this is selling also very wide, big topic of conversation, besides answering, just studying this grammar. Number 13, why do they cry at weddings? Why do they cry at weddings? Well, at first, who cries at weddings? Well, probably parents and grandparents, and here can be involved emotions and relationships and weddings and marriages and whatnot, divorces. Very rich, this exercise, at the first look, when we look at it, it seems like a simple present simple exercise, basic grammar for beginners, maybe a little bit high beginners. But in fact, it is an excellent tool for a teacher to develop a few classes, and topics of conversations and topics for writing, to develop the writing paragraphs or essays. Thank you very much for listening to me. I hope it was helpful for somebody. Well, definitely for me. For me, many of my lectures are very helpful because I just go to them. I just go to them and I just use them. Whatever I need, whenever. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope everybody will have a good day today. It was Zoya Eliseva. I am in California, USA now. Thank you. Bye.